Hello and welcome to Authentic Parenting. I am Anna Seewald. As part of our January anniversary celebration marking 10 years of the Authentic Parenting podcast, I am resharing a handful of older episodes that felt especially meaningful to revisit. This one surprised me in the best way. We recorded this short 10-minute conversation 7 years ago when my daughter was turning 10. I had honestly forgotten about it, especially because the title focuses on 2 productivity secrets from a 10-year-old. But listening back now, what struck me most was hearing her sweet voice and noticing how I spoke to her then. It's the same way I speak to her now. My daughter is 17 today, and parenting has a way of doing this. You move out of one phase and almost forget the one before it. It can feel like your child has always been the age they are now. That's what makes this episode feel like a small act of time travel. In this conversation, I share 10 things I admire about my daughter. It's honest, tender, and quietly revealing. She loved being on the podcast when she was younger and even interviewed me once herself. So revisiting this felt especially meaningful and special. If you've listened to my personal message this month, this episode reflects exactly what I was talking about. I hope you enjoyed this throwback, and I hope you'll continue listening throughout January as we celebrate the podcast and revisit more special moments from the archives. Please enjoy, and thank you for listening. And welcome to Authentic Parenting, a podcast that gives you ideas and strategies for personal growth in the practice of parenting. I am your host, Anna Seewald, a parent educator who is passionate about personal development, living simply and authentically, and parenting from the heart. With background in psychology and education, working with children for nearly 18 years, today I help overwhelmed, frustrated parents who want to parent differently than their parents, who are on the path of mindful, peaceful, gentle, conscious parenting, who want to make sense of their early childhood experiences, connect to their authentic self and their children on a deeper level, reduce stress, bring more ease and calm into their lives by yelling less and practicing non-punitive discipline. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. Here on this podcast, we talk about the importance of our early childhood experiences, trauma, adversity, how they impact our life, relationships, health, and of course, parenting, how we can raise our children and grow ourselves, become the best version of ourselves so that we can be the best parent we all strive to be. My special guest for this episode is a returning guest. In fact, this is her 4th appearance. As you will hear in the interview, we mistakenly say 3rd appearance, but I actually counted, and this is the 4th time this particular guest appears on my podcast. She not only loves being on the podcast, she's a big supporter of my work and a podcast in general. I asked her to send me a short bio so that I can introduce her to my listeners, and this is what I received. Ella Seewald is a 4th grader who loves reading and sports. She also loves pastels, glitter, and unicorns. Her dream is to be a scientist. My daughter Ella Seawold is my guest. Yes, I'm sure you already guessed it. My daughter is turning 10 on April 16th, which is a very special and meaningful day for me. She came into this world via C-section, and I am excited to see her grow and turn into this amazing human being. But I'm also a little sad, bittersweet, right? Because I miss the young version of my daughter. Time truly does fly. We recorded this episode before she turned 10, and by the time you will be listening to it, she already will be 10. It's hard to imagine. She's my biggest fan. She's my supporter. She cheers me on. She always wants to know who is on my podcast, what my listeners say, what the download numbers are, and the reviews and everything else. Before I get to the episode, I would love to give a shout out to Joe Pardo, who was a guest a couple of episodes back. He left a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And I love how my guests always leave reviews as well. Here is what he wrote. Most intimate interviews. I had an amazing time chatting with Anna on the show. She does a fantastic job of pulling out the most intimate details. Keep up the excellent job. Yes, here it's all about intimacy, authenticity, and deep connections. The way we recorded this interview is very similar the way I conduct all of my interviews. My daughter joined me via Skype from her room, and it was a very interesting experience. We were not sitting on the same chair, sharing the same mic as we did in the previous times. And by the way, I will have a link to all of her episodes in the show notes. The first time she appeared on the podcast was when I introduced her to my listeners. Couple of years ago, I interviewed her. The second time she appeared, she interviewed me for my birthday. The third time she appeared on the podcast is when we came back from Armenia, and while the impressions were fresh, I put her on the mic to share her impressions about her biggest travel of her life yet. She met with my dad for the first time, with my side of the family, and she shared her thoughts about travel overall and everything in between. So if you're curious, you can listen to those episodes as well. For this episode, she actually wanted it to be 10 minutes long. And I'm sorry, it is not. It's longer than 10 minutes. Please enjoy this spontaneous and impromptu interview with my daughter, Ella Seawold. Hi, Ella. Welcome to Authentic Parenting.
Hi.
This is your third time on the podcast. And as a returning guest, how do you feel?
I'm actually really happy. And I actually wanted to be on the show for the third time. And I'm super excited I get to be on it for the third time.
You are about to turn 10.
Yeah, double
right?
digits.
Double digits. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's neutral, but I'm really excited because I know I'm going to have a really fun time with my friends. And we're going to hang out for my birthday. And it's just interesting.
I was sitting the other day and thinking about your birthday, how you're turning 10, how I feel about it, what a great kid you are, how you have changed. Like all of a sudden, I think you have changed a lot, especially recently. Have you noticed those changes yourself?
Yeah, I definitely think I'm more organized, and I make my bed in the morning. And instead of showering at night, I've actually been showering in the morning, which I think is more productive, and it wakes me up, and I'm waking up early.
And how come you make your bed every day? Does your mother make you make your bed?
No, she doesn't, surprisingly. Mom, you don't make me make my bed, but I think it's just organized. And if it's cluttered, I feel like you're going to have a cluttered day. So I think if you start off really organized, it kind of affects your mood.
That's an interesting point. So it sets a tone for the rest of the day for you.
For me, yes.
I'm glad. And you're kind of a minimalist. Where do you get that? Like you like very organized. Your room almost has nothing. When I tell people you do not have toys, you have very little stuff in your room, people think that's kind of strange. Like, what do you think about that? Why do you like it like that?
Actually, I do have a few toys, but they're neatly organized in my shelves, and I put everything back when I'm done using it. I think it's good to have minimalizing because then it's easily to organize, and it's definitely easier to organize instead of cluttering. And if you don't want to put something away because you have no space for it, and it just gives you a happier life.
I like that. But how did you become so organized? People would like to know probably, right? Do you think I have anything to do with that?
Actually, you have 94% of the reason to do with it.
Oh, how so?
Because you always organize, and you always helped me organize my room, and you still help me organize it sometimes. And I think it's good to organize it because you feel happier.
So you think by doing it together, it makes it more enjoyable and you learn and it becomes an easier task with time.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. A few weeks ago, you came home and you said something very interesting that really made me think for a couple of days. And I want to bring this up on the podcast and hear your thoughts. You came home and you mentioned something, and I won't name your friend, or we can give her a different name because, we don't want to give out their name. We don't have the right. You came home and you said, Mommy, my friend was feeling bad about herself. She thinks she's not smart, and you were trying to boost her confidence. I really want you to speak about that.
Well, my friends, I noticed that some people, I had a friend somewhere, and they just don't feel confident. And I really don't like that because it makes me feel a little sad. And I like seeing my friends happy, and it just helps me stay happy all the time. And if I see them not feeling well, I try to cheer them up. And I definitely think it's important. Even if you failed a test or something, I think it's important to say, I did my best and I'm happy about what I did.
But your friend wasn't feeling like that. She was like very down on herself. She was comparing herself to others. And she said that I am dumb, right? She said those words. Can you speak about that?
To be honest, she's not dumb. She's not dumb at all. And I told her that.
Did she believe in you?
Yes.
Yes? How about yourself? Do you feel confident? Where do you stand? Do you think it's bad when people talk badly about themselves? And why do you think they do that?
I'm actually very confident in myself because if I have a big test, I'm going to study. And I think it's important to be confident in yourself. You're happier that way. And I don't think people should not feel confident about themselves. And I think they're not confident about themselves because they didn't try. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, I was thinking about your birthday, and I have written down 10 things that I really admire in you. Do you want to hear those things?
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe you can express your thoughts. This is in no particular order. I was thinking maybe I should come up with 10 items since it's your 10th birthday and write down what I really like or admire in you. First, I was going to write down 10 things I have learned from you, because there are things I have learned from you as well. But I'm going to just say things that I admire in you. And the first one actually is the word confidence. What I like about you is just that you're very confident in whatever you do, in whatever you are interested in. You always go into things with confidence that you will learn, you will discover, you don't get discouraged easily. So you have that confidence in you. I really admire that quality. The second one I have is adventurous. I think you are very adventurous. You have an adventurous spirit. Like today, we had a snow day. We went outside and you climbed in your snow boots that big tree and you were stuck at the top and it was hard for you to come down. So, and then when we were coming home, you were stuck in that mud and I didn't believe that you were stuck, but you were actually stuck. So you are very adventurous. You love doing this kind of stuff outdoors, right? And so I really like that.
Yeah.
In sports, in activities, you're very adventurous. The next thing I have on my list is courageous. I also think you're very courageous. And I really admire that because I wasn't a courageous kid. As a kid, when I think back, when I was at your age or maybe older or younger, I don't remember myself being courageous, but you are. And that really is beautiful to watch. So I admire that. And that gives me courage sometimes too. The next thing I have on my list is you are a very eco-minded person. You love the environment. You are a green person. You like to make things out of cardboard and bottles and recycle things. Always you come up with interesting projects. You clean like the playground, the litter outside. And no one has ever taught you that. It's in you, and I really admire that. Even when I brush my teeth and I run the water, you come and tell. You want to tell?
Yeah. Sometimes when she's brushing her teeth, I hear the water running and I go, Mom, you're wasting so much water. It's bad for the environment.
Yes. So I really admire that in you because I am an eco-conscious person, but not to that extent. And for sure, when I was your age, I wasn't as eco-conscious as you are at your age. So I really admire that. Another item I have on my list, number 5, is that you are a very generous and giving person. And maybe you can say a few things about this, but you're always giving to other people, to your friends, to your classmates, to our neighbors, without any prompts. Like you can give your last piece of food or something like that to another human being. And I really admire that. I truly do. So do you have anything to say about any of the points, or shall I move forward?
Actually, about the giving, at school, I like sharing my food with my friends. Sometimes the food at school they don't like, and I have tomatoes, and they really love that. So I give them each a tomato, and I think it's really nice. And I don't just do it because it's nice. I do it because they're my friends.
Mm-hmm. And you also help them a lot, right? I know your teachers always comment that you are a very helpful kid. You help the teachers, you clean and organize, you help them with math and things like that. So you are a helper. And I really admire that in fact, we just came from the parent-teacher conference, right, 2 days ago, and they said all those good things. So it makes me feel very happy that you are a good person.
Yeah.
Another item I have on my list is ta-da-ta-dam, organized. And we spoke about this already, so I'm not going to go into detail. And I really like that about you. I think that's a great skill, great characteristic or trait or whatever it is, it's really good. Like you always make lists, right? You even made a list for your classmates, right? You sit at the table, the cleaning the table list.
Yeah. On Monday, one of my friends, I'm not going to tell you her name, but one of my friends cleans the table. On Tuesday, one of my other friends cleans it. On Wednesday, my other friend cleans it. On Thursday, I clean it. And on Friday, we do rock, paper, scissors with a certain person to see who has to clean it.
Another thing I have on my list is you have a sense of reality. You're very down to earth for a kid of your age. I think you have this sense of reality in a way that you are not. It goes along with courage and confidence, this trait. And you always see what's possible, what's real. And you have this realistic view of things. You can't be fooled, or you're not so naive as a kid. I don't know how else to describe this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes at school or my friend, she tries to trick me. She hid in my closet once and she tried to scare me. And I'm like, I know you're in my closet. And then she comes out and she goes, boo. And I'm like, wow, I told you I knew you were in there. Because people can't really trick me that easily. They have to kind of have something based on a fact or something realistic to trick me. Because if you're just making something up, it's not going to fool me.
Okay. I also have on my list openness to novelty. You're very curious and open about new things, trying new foods, going new places, doing new things, which I think is pretty remarkable. And I think children are like that or supposed to be like that naturally, but not every child is like that. Like when we were once in a very fancy restaurant, I think we were celebrating Mother's Day or some other holiday, and you ordered raw clams, right? You didn't like them, but you're very open to trying new things. You're very curious. And I like that about you. Like, I am not as adventurous or as open to new things. I like my comfort zone, but I think it's good to be a kid, you know? I think that's partly because of you are a kid, but I think partly because it's your personality. You like new things. Like when you go to new places, you immediately immerse yourself. You're not so startled, right? When you went to Armenia or when you visit someone new or you start a new gymnastics class or something like that.
Yeah.
You're easygoing and you're not startled. So I like that. I have that in me as well, but I really admire that in you.
Yeah, and I think I actually ate some of those clams too. I didn't like it, but I ate it because I didn't want to order something else or say I didn't like it because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Next item on my list is you are a maker. And you love making things with your hands. You use hammer, nails, you make slime, you make cupcakes, from baking to cooking to making things from cardboard and recycled things. I will post a link to the candy dispenser that you made from Nutella jar, from an empty Nutella jar and cardboard and recycled things that came out pretty cool, right? And it dispenses candy.
Yeah, I dispense Skittles.
So I love that about you, that you are always making things out of old things or just on your own. I like that. I don't think me and Daddy are particularly makers like that. I am creative, but not a maker. So the last item I have is you are very bold and you experiment. So that's the last item. And I guess it goes along with the rest of the stuff, being courageous and adventurous. And I really admire that about you. So thanks for listening to my list. And if you have any thoughts, I welcome them.
I actually agree with what you said. And that's nice that you took the time to create that list. I actually really love that. That was really nice.
What are some things you admire in yourself?
Well, see, if there's a hard challenge, this is a real example that happened in real life. I was out sick one whole week from school last year, and they were learning about something I wasn't exactly that very good at. And we took a test at the end of the week when I finally returned on Monday, the week after that. And the teacher asked me, do you want to take the test or do you want to take it next week or not take it at all? And I said to her, I want to take the test because I wanted to see how I would do and if I kind of learned anything I did before. So I took the test. I didn't do really good. I think I got a C or a 60, but it didn't count in my grade, or it didn't count because I had to retake the test after I learned it because I didn't get to learn it that week at school. But I wanted to see if I knew anything and see if I can improve the next time I took the test. And I wanted to take a challenge and challenge myself a little. So, yeah.
So you challenge yourself.
Yes. I love to challenge myself.
Well, we have to run to a gymnastics class. So I want to wrap up this episode with you.
Okay.
Do you have anything to say to me or to my listeners?
Yeah. This was a really fun podcast to do with you. And I hope we get to do one next year or pretty soon.
Okay, great. Talk to you soon on the podcast.
All right. Bye.
And that's it for this surprise episode of the Authentic Parenting Podcast. I hope you enjoyed my daughter's company. If you have questions, comments, or any feedback, of course, you can always go to authenticparenting.com/contact. And I have my phone number right in your show notes. You can always tap, call, and leave a voice message. And if you want to see my daughter and our adventures, I post on Instagram, a social media platform of my choice. I am at authentic.parenting.podcast. That's my public account to promote the podcast, but I also sprinkle some personal stories and personal pictures, so you will get to see her climbing trees, jumping in puddles, and everything in between. So connect with me, follow me there, and I will follow you back. And as always, connect to the present moment, to yourself and your children. Until next week, I am Anna Seawold. Thank you so much for listening.